This is a demonstration of the standard version of flight tax systems. The flight tax system standard version is a full-featured aviation software for complying with IRS reporting requirements. It is structured for a single owner, single aircraft under 12,500 pounds maximum takeoff weight. It is fully compliant with IRS reporting requirements, and it will prepare the SIFL, cost disallowance, and primary purpose reports that are ready for you or your accountant to use to prepare the aircraft company or individual aircraft tax returns. It is fully annotated with links to the IRS tax code, regulations, and publications. Flight Tax System Standard versions has features particularly and especially designed for the owner pilot and for single pilot flight operations. There are no date restrictions in the standard version. You can input last year's flights as well as this year's flights. It's an internet-based software, meaning that you can enter flight information anywhere you have internet access. Aviation accountants keep the software current and relevant, and updates and new features are added automatically. Here is the flight input screen. We start with the flight date, then we list the departure and arrival cities, we list the flight hours, and the flight leg purpose. The system will automatically capture the distance because we have the latitude and longitude of over 35,000 airports around the world in our software. Once the flight data is entered, it's recorded into the flight log. This log looks very much like a pilot flight log. It lists in rows and columns the flight date, the flight number, the leg number, arrival and departure cities, miles and hours. It also spells out the airports and lists the flight leg information. You'll notice the column on the left-hand side has red and green lights. That's an internal test function within flight tax systems. Green icons means that all of the data relating to that flight has been entered. A red icon means something was missing, like perhaps the name of one of the passengers or a destination city, for instance. It's easy to scan a whole series of flights, even a whole year's worth of flights, and see perhaps those one or two flights that have missing information. Once the flight is entered, then we add the passengers. We list all the passengers that we can think of initially, but we can also add passengers and guests on the fly during the course of the year. Here is where we indicate whether the passenger is on the aircraft for business, non-business or non-entertainment, or for an entertainment purpose flight. Here's where we list the guests that are associated with each employee. We indicate if the employee is on board the aircraft, if they exited the flight, or if they reimbursed for a portion or all of the flight. Once the information is in, we hit the Add to Leg icon, and that moves the passenger from the passenger and guest inventory up to the flight. Here are some of the reports that we find in Flight Tax System. Here is the SIFL report, and you'll see it summarizes all of the systems and all the information at the bottom. You'll see this report also resembles a spreadsheet. We did that intentionally so that the data related to each flight is easy to see, the calculations are easy to check, and in the event that anyone is auditing the information, they can see exactly how the calculations were made. Along the right-hand column, we have footnotes that explain any flight that is somewhat unusual, and those footnotes are all identified on the left. Finally, above the footnotes are the SIFL year-to-date summary figures. These are the totals at the end of the year that will be charged to the employee on their W-2 or 1099 for reporting on their personal tax returns. Here is the entertainment cost disallowance report. This is the company adjustment for entertainment flights. The IRS gives us 4 methods of calculating the entertainment disallowance, and all 4 methods are presented here in the software. The IRS allows us to use the method that results in the least tax consequence to us, and so we're looking for the lowest percentage of entertainment cost disallowance. Here's an IRS auditor report that the system automatically calculates and creates. This report lists all the information that the IRS requires us to keep about all of our flights, whether they're for business or for non-business, non-entertainment, or entertainment purposes. This can be a pretty long flight because there's pretty long report because there's a lot of information here. All the names of the passengers and the purpose of all their flights, all of the cities visited, all of that information is contained on this one report. Here is a general flight report that lists all of the flights and their miles and hours and corresponding percentages by flight category. You'll see the category summary down at the bottom. We list fractional passengers, deadhead, lease, maintenance flights, regular passenger flights, Schwab flights, time-sharing flights, training flights, etc. Users can identify their own category and add categories for their particular use at will. An annual subscription to the standard version of Flight Tax Systems costs $9.95. That subscription provides 12 months of program access, and the subscription buys unlimited use. There are no date controls, so you can enter this year's flights and last year's flights as well. Custom programming and reports are available, and Aviation CPAs from our parent company will provide an hour of free support. We take you through setup and flight recording, and of course additional support is available. Give us a call, or you can go directly to our website at flighttaxsystems.com for more information or to sign up. Thank you for watching. I'm Jed Wolcott, and that's how it works.